Okay, I was very wrong. Then again, I should have been very wrong. But we were extremely trolled this chapter. We all at the beginning we thought this was gonna be a secret meeting, and I thought that the only three of the rookies were gonna do this, but no, it turns out it's a super army after all. If you ask me, how is this a secret army? These three super forces joining together. If you ask me, that is not a secret army, not a single bit. But at the same time, they are the only ones who are classified, well, not classified, qualified for having the power to perhaps overwhelm Riboku. But with the reveal of these characters, we have there are some hints we are gonna face some very mighty despair. But first of all, or late at all, hi for those who are watching. It's the Angry Anime Fan, the Despair Reviewer, and yes, I am talking about Kingdom Chapter 498. The Supreme Commanders have been revealed. More like there are two commanders, one of offense, one of strategic, or something like that. While the Supreme Commander is, well, if you ask me, trusting those two with this is extremely double-edged sword-like. But at the same time, they are the only ones who have the power. And this was kept secret until it was revealed. So Shoben-kun reveals the first general, which is none other than General Kanki. Well, that's actually, and for the first time we actually see Naki again in Shin's troops. For the beginning, we actually began to think like, what? Is Naki not gonna be shown? Turns out he is gonna be shown. But this confirms one thing. Kanki will lose. Because if you cannot forget what Riboku said in the last arc. I have Kanki's weakness. And how can you have Kanki's weakness? That man is merciless monster. There is not a merciless monsters has no weaknesses. Except maybe an ego. But, so yeah. With the reveal that Kanki is the first one of them gonna be fight, it is obvious that he will be one of the first to fall. Because this battle, well, let's just say it's obvious that Shin China will not win all their battles. It will be like the damn, I'm so bad at pronouncing words sometimes. I was gonna say collaboration army, but I know that's not sounding right. Sorry, have a verbal tick and stuff like that. What I meant to say is there were huge losses on both the Qin China side and on the enemy's joint alliance side. Meaning that who will we lose and who will we win? It's obvious for me at least that Kanki will lose because, as I've said in many videos, according to history, the guy that Kanki is based on would suffer a horrifying, well, not horrifying, would suffer a deep loss and then he would go into exile rather than face consequences of his actions. And given how what we've seen of Kanki in last arc, it is very obvious that if Kanki loses a battle very much and that Riboku says he has Kanki's weakness, it's very likely that Kanki, screw this, I'm out of here. So with the reveal of Kanki, that's actually a little bit good. But then they also reveal that there is another general leading the army, and that is none other than General Yotawa, which is actually a bit surprising. And Heki being, well, so enriched by that. He never grows up on that, but then again she is kinda hot. And yeah, the mountain tribe warriors will finally join Qin China's battle. It was about time. And we see some more female warriors besides Jun Tawa. So at long last they will fight by our sides. This is the real excitement, really. Because we should know one thing. We should not underestimate the mountain tribe warriors. Are they just as ruthless as Kanki? That's actually difficult in saying. I wouldn't exactly say that the mountain tribe warriors are merciless warriors, merciful warriors, but they're at the same time not as cruel as Kanki's armies are. I think they are like in battle everything counts, which more like when they're in battle they can be as ruthless as they want. It's up to this arc to decide what they can do. And Banjo and Taifu are greeted by Shin. They're old friends, which is very good. They still acknowledge each other, even though Banjo have only barely learned the language. And then we are trolled for the third time. Kanki and Jontawa are not the real leaders. They will serve as commanders for the respective armies, but not as the supreme commander of the entire attack force. Are gonna send this war into 3 different armies. And who is the supreme commander? Well, that's none other than Awesome. Okay, I was dead wrong last week, but with all due respect, people, uh, I was very wrong last chapter. But with all due respect, I thought for sure this was gonna be a classified battle. And if you ask me, this is not classified at all. Having these big names roar around Sao, that is definitely gonna catch Riboku's eye. Or is that actually the plan? He did say that we're gonna split the armies into 3 different armies, meaning that probably that Shin's version of the army, they are the main attack force, the hidden gem that are gonna attack that city, while the rest of the army is just so huge full of celebrities that they're gonna attack Sao in order to get Sao's attention drawn to them. Is that the plan? But given the fact that Osen is the supreme commander and that Kanki is one of the generals here, I'm not so sure this is gonna end well. Yes, Osen and Kanki are noted to be very powerful generals, but they are also noted to be not exactly the best of people. As I said before, Kanki is merciless, cruel, and absolutely full of rage. He has no empathy for anything other than himself. Osen, however, well, he is just the same. There's clear that Osen is a talented general, but he prefers to gather his strength until he can become king. He has dangerous ambitions, and yet he still serves Shin China. Is this... And the fact that Osen is so selfish, this is all about me, the fact that he takes people and then joins them in his own troop. What is that to imply, really? Is that meant to imply that is Osen really a good commander to unite all of these? Well, he's talented, but I don't think he is a good commander. It's also the fact that as much as it's been hinted that, yeah, Osen and basically has already confirmed it, he wants to form a kingdom of his own or become a king of his own. So far, there hasn't been a single hint that he has any plans to overthrow, say. And given to the fact that he's a general, maybe it's impossible for him to overthrow, say. So everybody fears his ambition, and yet no one has ever asked how is he supposed to conclude his ambition. Is he gonna take a whole set of lands and then form his own private kingdom, just like that, just like the Queen Mother did? Alas, these are the generals. So as I said before, not so shallow, but a joint invasion between 3 different armies. Osen, Kanki, and Jontawa. Is this gonna be a war of strength or a war of disaster? Who knows? All I know is this is not gonna be easy. So yeah, I was dead wrong last time, but that was only because I suspected it to be a very small army. This is not small at all. And yes, I have to agree, even Riboku have to be thinking very hard now how he's gonna deal with this, because he has Kanki's weakness, he doesn't have Osen's. Although I think Rempa once said that Osen's weakness is that he's too selfish. Or maybe it's better to say Osen's weakness is that I'm too important emotion. If you take that away from Osen, Osen has nothing. The fact that he likes to build a very large place and barricade it, and it's almost as big as his ego hints that, yeah, he's His ego may be the key of defeating him. But Jontawawa, we haven't seen her so much on battle. In every battle we have seen of her, she roams around like she's in totally beauty and a beast. That was a bad pun, but I like it anyway. So, yeah, how are we gonna deal with her? We'll see, won't we? But at long last, the war will join up. Which armies with these? But still, now I'm even more confused than ever. How is which part of these three armies are Shin, Ose, Ohon, or Moten gonna serve? Or is it just like I said before? Is this a joint army just meant to be a very huge distraction while Shin and the others go the other way? They did was entrusted with that secret mission of all, but if there's very hint they can defy orders if they do that. So yeah, I'm not so sure how this all will take us. All I know is it's gonna be carnage. So give me your thoughts if you have any.